My grandfather started the company in 1920, and he was a designer from Italy, and he'd worked for other companies. I think he got fed up with the whole lot, and he borrowed some money and built himself a factory. We continue to make furniture mostly in solid wood, in oak and elm and ash and beech. When I joined the company, there were 250 other companies in High Wycombe. There were about 3 or 4, so there was very little. That's the original sketch of the stacking chair, the sort of archive record of the stacking chair, and I suppose about 1955, 56, 57, something like that.
But if nothing is...
The chair arch project is a classic project of the High Wycombe district. The first one was made apparently in about 1870 when Queen Victoria visited Disraeli. And in fact, it was a man called Walter Scull who owned a factory in Wycombe that we eventually owned. And he was asked by the Wycombe district to build his first chair arch. And it seemed rather a classic sort of circular argument to come back to building an arch now.
Martino was the first person that sprang to mind because he is really Mr. Chair. He's chairman. He did a project called 100 Chairs in 100 Days. When I went to speak to him about the idea, he was actually immediately really keen. He was the first person that I'd come across who had actually heard of chair arches in the first place.
Basically what we're going to do, we're going to screw each individual chair to each other. And the challenge in terms of engineering for the engineer was, how can you kind of guarantee the thing is going to stand up? For me, this project was somehow appealing, interesting, because first of all, using something existing, an existing chair that's been used in the UK, very widely from domestic to public. And I wanted somehow to bring this chair back and give it somehow a new, I wouldn't say new life because it's still out there, still being sold, but kind of maybe new context. The rainbow spectrum is kind of one color, kind of gradually, moving into the other, so you haven't really just got, 7, 8 colors. They're blending in when they're stuck together. They're kind of in between colors, from orange to yellow. The rest, they make sense themselves. Yeah.
It's been a really interesting experience with Edward as well. Someone who's very enthusiastic about the company, and I think he's really created something that is quite unique in the UK and also in Europe and the world. And I think that's probably one of the reasons they're still operating, because they have somehow maintained a certain tradition, but at the same time looking forward and moving on.
This is the steam bending of the back of one of our upholstered chairs. It's bent from both ends by 2 people, and they're going to put it both ways, one way and then down the other way. And it looks relatively easy, but it's not at all. It's one that's really quite, because you've got to do it with the timber. You can do it too hard and too fast, and you just rip the timber apart. The bending and making Windsor chairs was done in the woodlands around here for the last 300 or 400 years. But what we did was make it a more consistent, a more accurate, and a more industrial-friendly process. Life remains pretty tough. I mean, manufacturing in this country, people think we're barking manufacturing.
It's quite rare to come across a company which really makes everything in one place and does it here, especially in Britain. And I think it's important to celebrate those activities and really try and maintain them, especially when they involve, like with this company or this particular district, where they involve real skilled craftsmanship. And I think in a lot of industries as well, in design, we're in danger of losing those.
I'm looking forward to actually see this thing actually stand up, because I'm not quite sure if this is actually going to work. I mean, of course, everyone, there are structural engineers, we've done tests, but somehow I'm still like, wow.
Oh, it's really lovely to see it standing up. I think it looks beautiful, and to see it actually works is fantastic. You see it now supporting itself and up straight is very good. But it's lovely to see it in the V&A too, because the V&A is such a historic place for furniture and furniture design. It's really nice to see our furniture in the middle of the courtyard of the V&A.
So we've got one arch up already, which is self-supporting, and the next crucial stage, a little bit harder from an engineering point of view, is to build the second arch, which is going to be higher and wider, made of plain wood chairs, which will go over the top of this rainbow arch, and then it'll be complete.
Obviously, we have had rain since the morning. It's made it very difficult for the guys to, to work. I think I'm really surprised it actually stands up by itself. It's a very nice contrast to the garden, It's kind of the grass and the kind of brick building behind. I think it's been very interesting as a process, because usually I make the pieces myself, very much hands-on. This time I've done the design, and then I pass it on to a structural engineer, and then pass it on to someone else who is actually building it. So it's been kind of slightly removed from my kind of everyday kind of business, and I think so it's interesting to see Edward here from Ercol. He's very enthusiastic about it, and I think hopefully we'll continue some collaborations with Ercol.